This video is about money, but not in the way you're expecting. It starts with a destroyed MIT acceptance letter and ends with a college fund I built from nothing for someone else's kid. In between is a story about what happens when you take a financial wound and turn it into a financial strategy. Let's get into it. When my mother tore that letter, she didn't just destroy an opportunity, she changed the financial trajectory of my life. Let me be concrete about this because I think we're too vague about these numbers. MIT in the year I applied, full scholarship, plus stipend, plus housing. My out-of-pocket would have been almost nothing. The network alone, the alumni connections, the internship pipeline, the salary premium would have been worth, conservatively, $250,000 over the first decade of my career. I'm not saying that to be dramatic. I'm saying it because when you're a first-generation student and someone destroys your path to that kind of leverage, the financial ripple effect is real and measurable. My path without MIT, 2 years working, 3 years of community college and transfers, a job that paid well but started lower, a longer climb. I didn't end up poor, I want to be clear. I built a solid career in tech. But the compounding effect of a later start is not nothing, okay? So that's what was taken. Now let me tell you what I built. Around year 6 after the letter, I really met my niece Amara. She was 11. She was brilliant. And I realized I was watching myself at 11 in a family that didn't have the tools to channel what she was. So I made a decision. I was going to build those tools. I opened a dedicated savings account, not a 529 at first, just a high-yield savings account. And I set up an automatic transfer of $200 a month. Not a huge amount. The point was the system, not the size. Over time, as my income grew, I increased the contributions. At year 3, I opened a 529 and moved everything in for the tax advantages. I also did something that most people skip. I invested in Amara's financial education alongside her academic one. By the time she was 15, she understood compound interest, scholarship searching, FAFSA, and the difference between net price and sticker price on a college application. That's not something I had. I was going into MIT blind financially. She went into her college search informed. Here's the money mindset piece I want to spend real time on, because I think it applies far beyond my specific story. Most people who grew up without financial resources carry one of two money wounds. Wound 1 is scarcity. Money is always almost gone. You hoard, or you panic, or you spend it fast before it disappears, because on some deep level you don't trust it to stay. Wound 2 is resentment. You watch others have access you don't. You feel the unfairness of it, and the resentment either paralyzes you or poisons your relationship with money. You either stop pursuing it or you pursue it with an anger that burns you out. I had both, the scarcity from growing up watching my parents count dollars before the end of the month, the resentment from the letter, the shift that changed everything, and I want to be precise about this, was moving from a scarcity mindset to an abundance as responsibility mindset. Not abundance thinking in the motivational poster sense, but the actual belief that if I built enough, I had the responsibility to use it to open the next door. That money was a tool for changing the story, not just for me, but for the people coming behind me. That one shift changed how I saved, how I invested, and honestly, how I felt about money for the first time in my life. Let me give you the actual numbers, because this is a finance channel and numbers matter. I started Amara's fund when she was 11. She was ready for college at 17, 6 years. Year 1, $200 a month, $2,400 total. Year 2, $250 a month, $3,000. Year 3, $300 a month. Moved everything into a 529, $3,600. Year 4, $350 a month, $4,200. Year 5, $400 a month, $4,800. Year 6, $500 a month, $6,000. Total contributions over 6 years, approximately $24,000, with 529 growth and state tax deductions. The actual account value when Amara started college was around $28,500, combined with her merit scholarships and a small amount of institutional aid. This covered her full first year with about $8,000 left over as a buffer for years 2 through 4. I didn't need to be wealthy. I needed to be consistent and start early. $200 a month, 6 years. A kid who doesn't have to choose between her dream school and her family's comfort. That's the math of intergenerational investment. The biggest financial lesson from my story is this: sometimes the return on investment isn't for you. I didn't get the mid-trajectory. I got a different one. And part of what I built along that different path went to make sure someone else got a clear runway. That's not charity. That's not martyrdom. That's wealth thinking at the level of a generation, not a quarter. If you grew up in a family that didn't have money, you didn't just miss out on dollars. You missed out on the financial knowledge, the networks, the confidence, the safety net. Those things compound just like money does. Build them, and then pass them forward. If this resonated with you, let me know in the comments. Subscribe if you want more like this. I'll see you next week.